Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you examples on how you can find real and imaginary parts in the equations involving complex numbers. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, let's go ahead and try the first example right here. First example here, we're looking at 4 plus 3i is equal to 2x plus yi. Alright, in order to solve this problem here, what we can do here is to look at this equation and try to set the real parts equal to the real parts and the imaginary parts equal to the imaginary parts. So since on the right hand side we have all the variables on the right hand side, what we can do here is just compare on both sides and set the real parts equal to the real parts and the imaginary parts equal to the imaginary parts. So meaning that I would have 4 is equal to 2x and 3i will be equal to yi. This is a strategy that you're going to need or you're going to use to solve a problem like this one. From here we can divide both sides by 2 and we get 2 equal to x. On the other hand, for the imaginary parts, we'll just divide both sides by y by just crossing the y's out on both sides. We'll get 3 equal to y. This is an efficient way of solving problems like this, meaning that x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 3. Done. Let's take another example. Change to a different color. Next example here, we want to solve the equation 4 minus 2yi is equal to x minus 5i. In order to solve this problem here, what we can do here is again remind you that I represents the imaginary unit. Okay. All right. So since we're working with complex numbers, so again here what we can do here is to make sure that we rearrange the equation such that we can set the imaginary parts to imaginary parts and the real parts to the real parts. So okay. So what I have here now can mean that 4 is equal to x. And then for the y parts, we have negative 2yi will equal to negative 5i. So if we have everything written down like that, what we can do here is to divide both sides by I, right? Crossing I out on both sides. So that I get negative 2i is equal to negative 5. Again, we'll divide both sides by negative 2, negative 2. And cross out, then we have y equal to negative 5 over 2, and we'll have x is equal to 4 from here. Okay, so let's take another example. Example 3. For example 3, we have 6 minus 3i plus 8, and that's equal to x plus 2 plus 9yi. Okay, for this problem here, what we're going to do here is to make sure we combine the real parts. We can combine 6 and 8 to get 14. And then we will drop negative 3i here. And we'll set that equal to x plus, just remove the brackets. And we have plus 2 plus 9 yi. So what I'm going to do here is to make sure that I subtract 2 from both sides so that I can just isolate the variables. So I'll subtract 2 from both sides, cross 2 out, then I get 12 minus 3i is equal to x plus 9 yi. From here, I can set the real parts to the real part and the imaginary part to the imaginary part. So that means 12 will equal x. Likewise, I get negative 3i will equal 9yi. Again, what you want to do is to make sure that you divide both sides by I by just crossing those i's out, and then you end up with negative 3 is equal to 9y. Again, we'll divide both sides by 9 and divide by 9, and then we get y is equal to, cross 9 out, negative 1/3. So that means we get x is 12 and y is negative 1/3. Let's take one extra example. This is the last example right here, example 4. In this example, you have 3x plus 4i is equal to 2 plus I minus 5 times 5 plus 3yi. All right, so what we're going to do here is to make sure we simplify, make sure we have all the imaginary parts together and all the real parts combined together. So what I'm going to do is just leave the right-hand side and then simplify the left-hand side is fine. I'm just going to go ahead and simplify the left-hand side. So here I get 2 plus I, then I'm going to have to distribute to get negative 25. Then I get distribute again to get negative 15 yi. Again, I can combine 2 and negative 25, and that gives I minus 23 minus 15 yi. So then I have 3x plus 4i right here. So next thing I'm going to do is to subtract I from both sides of the equation, cross that out, then I'm going to drop 3x, and then combine this result here to get positive 3i. That's going to be equal to negative 23 minus 15 yi. So what I can do here is to set the real parts to the real part, the real part to the real part, okay? And then the imaginary part to the imaginary part, so that 3x will equal negative 23, so that x will equal negative 23 over 3. Then to solve for the imaginary part, I am going to take 3i is equal to negative 15 yi, so that I can divide both sides by I, cross those i's out, then I get 3 is equal to negative 15y. In order to solve for y, I'll divide both sides by negative 15. That means 3 over negative 15 equals y. Then I divide both sides by that 15, or reduce the fraction to get it down to negative 1 over 5 is equal to y. I hope this is helpful. This will bring me to the end of this lesson. Thank you so much for coming here to learn, and I'll see you in the next video.